day like 6 or so of the coronavirus confinement. Just been hanging out on the boat, but check out this rainbow that's just forming here over St. Maarten. Oh, that's a good one. Oh, that was awesome.
I know. So pretty.
We've been in St. Maarten now, going on close to a month, and the main thing, I guess, that's been going on is the COVID-19 coronavirus shutdown here and across the whole world. So we haven't really been able to do our normal exploring close to 2 weeks now. We've just been sitting on the boat, sort of self-isolating.
It's just kind of odd. The only thing we've done off the boat really is just to go grocery shopping. We've been trying to do a little bit of exercising just to get on land, but as they continue to add limitations here on the Dutch side of St. Maarten, you know, some of that may become more difficult.
The grocery store's well stocked.
Yeah.
Really, our movement around hasn't been too restricted. We're not supposed to be going for non-essential, you know, trips, which we don't. But
It's been odd that we've been here for almost a month and we've basically seen like this tiny little portion of the island.
right before everything got serious with the coronavirus, as we said earlier, we ordered a new diesel engine. And it shipped as normal and apparently is here on the island, and a couple of days from now we're going to go get hauled out and that will get installed. And since we're here anyways and the bottom needs painted, we're going to have a bottom job done. So far we wouldn't have left anyway, but pretty soon all that'll be done, and then I would guess that the lockdown on travel between islands will probably still be going on. That'll be around the middle of April. The only issue will become is if this goes on into hurricane season. Here in St. Maarten is not a good place to stay. So at some point we'll have to make a decision to try to get the boat hauled out here, or Antigua is an okay place to get the boat hauled out if they've opened the borders there, or to go back to Puerto Rico or the U.S. Virgin Islands, where we'd have an easier time getting admitted into the country as U.S. citizens. We don't know what the future holds. Just like everybody in all walks of life, in all countries of the world, everybody doesn't know what's going to be next. So we're in that same boat.
Okay, ready?
Mm-hmm. We had a little trouble getting the old engine started due to an air leak in the diesel system, but after one final troubleshooting session, we tightened some fittings, bled the fuel lines, and then she fired right up for her final ride. Westerbeek is fired up. We got one final ride from here to the lift. There's Lindy getting our supplies ready. We're not sure how long it'll be between when the boat starts getting lifted out and when we can move back on board, but this is sure to be a cramped time in our lives here while they work on the boat and we live on it on the jack stands while trying to avoid the coronavirus. All right, we made it to the boatyard. Some friends helped guide us in just to make sure that we made it without any problems. Here we are, Bobby's Mega Yard. Our home for the next, I don't know, week or two. in between pulling up the anchor and making it to the marina, we've been informed that the government has shut down things even further here, and the yard has told us they're not even sure they're going to be open. So they told us to sit tight while they figure that out, and then they'll tell us if they're going to pull us out and start the work, or if we should go back to anchor and wait. We spent the night here in the slip at the travel lift haul out spot. They were thinking that they'd be able to start working on us until just a moment ago. The yard manager came over and said the government came and shut them down as a non-essential business. He said we can stay here in the slip if we want, and whenever they can get back to work, then they'll start with the engine install and the bottom job. So we're just, I think we're just going to stay here in the slip. We just found this out. Any thoughts, Lindy?
No. It's just...
What can you do?
It is what it is. So apparently this is our new home for the time being.
Wow. It's a crazy world. The saga continues. It's our third day here sitting in the haul out slip, and we just listened to a announcement from the Prime Minister of St Maarten that now there's a 24-hour curfew for 14 days. So we went to the grocery store yesterday, and I guess we're all stocked up, but wow.
Yeah.
I think we've got plenty of food and plenty of water.
We may need to start rationing the wine.
That's true.
I'm not sure we got 2 weeks worth of wine.
We probably don't, and there might be a few other things too that we'll run out of. But
cheese.
Cheese.
We'll run out of
cheese and wine.
We're gonna run out of fancy French cheese.
So yeah, things are getting pretty serious. I guess we'll start documenting us sitting here staring at each other for hours on end for the next 2 weeks.
Tonight I'm making a carrot and kale lentil stew. So I'm gonna start with the carrots. I'm just cutting them up into kind of bite-sized pieces, and I'm gonna saute them in the pan till they get a little bit of color on them. You may notice that there's some eggplant in that pan. It's not part of the recipe, but it's just some we had left over that I needed to cook. So that's what happens. It just gets thrown in with the other stuff. Okay, so I sauteed the carrots and the onions and the eggplant. And while that was happening, I chopped up a clove of garlic and about an equal amount of ginger, and I'm just going to put those in and let those saute for about a minute. You don't want them to get bitter if you let them go too long. Okay, so now it is time for the lentils to go in. So I'm going to add them to the pot, and then I'm going to add water. Okay, we're going to bring that to a boil, and we're going to add our spices. So we're going to add about a teaspoon of turmeric, a little bit of coriander, probably half a teaspoon, the same of cumin, half a teaspoon, and then just a dash or two of curry, because I think it's yummy. All right. We're going to let that come up to a boil. And the easiest way to do to prepare kale, I guess, is just to pull it off with your hands. Of course, you could use a knife, whatever, but the stems are really woody and pretty tough. So I find if you just keep pulling, you know, the stem gets thinner at the top, and then when it pulls off, then that's where, you know, the end is. And then I also like to just pull the rest of it into bite-sized pieces instead of cutting it. That way, if there is another like thick stem or vein in there, you'll feel it and you can pull that out yourself. And For this recipe, it was probably 4 cups or so, but it was about 4 stalks of kale. So I added half a can of coconut milk to make it nice and creamy. And then I'm also gonna add the kale in there at the same time. Just gonna get the kale in there and let it simmer, I don't know, around 5 minutes. You want the kale to get wilty and a little soft, but you don't want to let it go too long. Plate some up there. Gonna garnish it with a dash of smoked paprika. Just one of Zach's favorite things. And then also some fresh parsley and cilantro.
Lindy has made us a wonderful meal, and we're settled in. We're gonna have some quarantine movie watching and eating. How is it, babe?
It's pretty good.
All right, ready to eat some too.
Mm-hmm.
I've got to come chime in one more time. This is absolutely delicious. It really is good. Way to go, Lindy.
Yay.
Delicious. We're still in our big time quarantine here, and it's very quiet in St. Maarten. It's strange. There's like absolutely nobody moving around. No traffic, no noise, no nothing. Everybody's confined to their houses and their boats. So today, we took the outboard off, gave it a little rinse down and sprayed some corrosion inhibitor on it. And then we've always had this strange wind scoop type thing on the boat from some other owner, because we're not really usually in marinas, so we've never really needed it before. But since the boat's not pointed directly at the wind all the time like it is when we're at anchor, the wind comes from the side of the boat or whatever, and the hatch doesn't catch it. You know, it'll just blow right across and we'll be hot. So this crazy looking contraption catches wind from any direction, sends it down the chute. Pretty neat, huh? Anybody ever seen anything like this? We hadn't. Here on our little piece of dock, we did some exercises. We took a walk back and forth across the boatyard. So that's pretty much our day. Do some exercise, think of a couple of boat projects, a lot of sitting around. We're on day 12 now of the 14-day total shutdown, where even grocery stores are closed, and of course the 2 weeks before that there was already a lot of restrictions on movement. So we're going on a month now that we haven't really left the boat much or been around other people, I guess, like most of the people around the world. Our non-refrigerated produce is down to some onions and garlic there. We're trying to regrow our lettuce and green onions. Lindy's been baking a lot of bread. There she is. And you know, we've got carrots, half an eggplant. There's my sprouts that I grew. They've been good. There's a tomato down in there. You know, we've done well. We've got plenty of food. The Prime Minister also has said that because a lot of people were running out of food, that now they've opened the groceries for essential food for yesterday and today. And we're planning to venture out and go kind of restock some of our fresh food. Not a lot been going on. Pretty much all day you'll find me sitting right here reading stuff on the internet, and Lindy sitting right over there. So
it doesn't seem so bad as long as you don't really think about how long it's been going on and how long it might continue. If you just stay focused on like today, it seems pretty manageable. So just focus on today.
On the future of what's going to be happening, they have said that there's going to be some sort of restrictions going on for 3 more weeks, and they're supposed to come out today on what those restrictions are going to be. We don't know if laundry is going to be one. We're hoping it makes the cut because it's time for us to do laundry, and also obviously Bobby's Mega Yard where we are here. We need it to open so we can start the bottom job and the engine install. If we don't get started on that till May 11th, you know, at best we're talking the last week of May when we're actually back down in the water. And hurricane season starts June 1st. Of course, we're not too worried about the month of June, but you know, there'll be heightened concern if we get to there. All right, walking across the field to the Carrefour. It's strange to have gone out by dinghy and now be out doing something, honestly.
It's the first time I've been off the boat or out of the boatyard in 2 weeks exactly.
Wow. Here we go. We're supposed to have face coverings going in the store, so I've went ahead and put on my bandito looking buff. Hey, we're doing good. Got all our stuff here. Very nice. This is crazy. But it's not a madhouse in here. It's all right.
So we've got an update here on holiday from our social distancing / quarantine / whatever we're doing here. We've been basically on the boat except for groceries since the middle of March. So this is like our 7th week. And we've been here at the haul out slip at the boatyard since April 1st. And today's the 27th, and we just got word the government here in St. Maarten is allowing the boatyard to do some essential work. So we're gonna get hauled out tomorrow. Yay!
All right.
Super exciting. So we're about 2 weeks ahead of what was kind of our worst case scenario. We've had access to the grocery store for a couple of weeks, so that's nice. Even though we have plenty of food, it just makes you feel more, I don't know, comfortable when you know that you can go and get what you need. We also were able to do laundry. I'm not really sure that that's like on the official list, but the full service laundry was open and they did our laundry. But
we're very happy to have especially clean bed sheets.
Yeah.
We've been quite some time on that current set.
Yeah, and here in the boatyard, it's a little warmer than when we're normally at anchor.
And it's dusty.
So anyway, everything was getting dirtier than normal. And we didn't have access to laundry, so we were pretty excited about that. So yeah, so tomorrow the boat's going to get hauled out, and we're still going to be living on it while they're doing work, which will probably be an experience all to itself.
Yeah, we're about 1 month from the official start of hurricane season. And of course the work's at least going to take a couple of weeks, likely 3. I'm guessing that we'll probably be back in the water, settled with the new engine and the bottom job near the beginning of hurricane season. And just an update on the current situation of the other islands where we need to get to, the safer hurricane areas. They haven't opened their borders yet, and there's no indication of when they will. So we're working on a number of different plans, where before it was just definitely our plan to go to Grenada and we hadn't really thought about anything else. Now we've researched Trinidad and we've researched Curacao. I even researched Suriname in South America. Just different places where if one of them opens up and the others don't, that's where we're going to be headed. Under normal circumstances, we would have short hops that would just be, 6 to 8, maybe 10 hours. each time, and then we'd spend a few days and then go to another one. But that may not be something that's available to us. So we're already starting to go ahead and mentally prepare for having a 500-mile passage, which would be by far the longest that we'd ever done. You know, we're talking 3 or 4 days. So, you know, there's also worster case scenarios than that, where the islands just aren't open and we can't go. So we're exploring staying here and having the boat hauled out. Also, we're not very far away from the U.S. Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico, which as U.S. citizens, we'd be more easily allowed to go back there and have the boat hauled out or something. As far as coronavirus specifically here on the island, I don't know if I've given any numbers before, but there's been 70-something people on Dutch St Maarten that have tested positive. I think the current number of active cases is 28, so quite a number of those have gotten better. Of course, there's been some deaths too, I think 12. And then on French side of St Maarten, there's 30 to 40 more cases. So there is coronavirus here. Yeah. We talk about wanting islands to open and everything. Of course, what we really want, which will result in that, is for there not to be people getting sick and dying.
Right.
And it seems to be that the initial ramp up of cases has already happened, and it may be flattening out and on the way down. Only time will tell, but that's what we're seeing and what we're hoping continues.
Back to the positive stuff, we're getting hauled out tomorrow.
Yeah. So that'll probably be the next video, is us pointing the camera as they lift Holiday out of the water. Okay, it's before 8 a.m. and we've been up getting the boat ready, but we see the travel lift is already moving. So we've hustled, getting it all together. Here they are. About to lift us up. They're getting it ready. All right. So we'll finish up getting a few things off the boat, because we don't know exactly when we'll be able to get back on. Got a little backpack with us some supplies. They're getting the travel lift in position. Back on the move again. They're just still over there working on getting Holiday blocked up. We don't really have anything that we can be doing, so we're just sitting around waiting. I've started putting the blocks under it now, the stands. Look at that. Looking good. All right. Awesome.
I just realized I made a funny face in the camera.
Yeah.
And I had my face covered.